Protoi. This is an explanation to give a short answer to the question, what are Protoi? This explanation is in strong opposition to all types of God concepts. Our opinion about gods is described in another text. The link to this text is in the video description below. All creations, we call these base grids, have been constructed with the intention to seed life and evolution of many kinds. There is a big variety of evolution concepts, so that each creation is unique. The dark evolutionary concept, which is survival of the fittest, only applies here. The creation we are inside was based on this type of evolution from the very beginning. It is a failed experiment. The base grid we are inside is a young one. It's only about 16 billion Earth experience years old. The main grid we call prime creation is about 538 billion years old, which is not counted in our time. The beginning of the main grid started at the same time as the beginning of matter. Inventing matter was also an evolutionary step, and we mean with matter that is much more than the matter that is described by Earth physics. Many more evolution types were enabled through the creation of matter, and with all the new types of evolution and all the new energies, the main grid started to grow faster. About 64 billion years later, the main grid became very big and quite successful, so that the beings on the grid decided to create a job for entities who give the beings on the grid the needed help and support for growth and evolution. We use strict rules to describe the meaning of entity, and the link to the details of this topic is in the video description below. The job got the name Protoi, which comes from the ancient Greek language, which is very similar to a language that is spoken by most beings in prime creation who uses this type of communication. In the beginning, there were 10 Protoi entities, 4 of them angel species, 6 of them matter energies species. In the beginning and until now, all Protoi were aborted anonymously by all level 1 to level 3 entities on the grid. The consciousness fields of the beings in the angel family are not made of matter energies. They consist of the energies that were used before the invention of matter. 83% of humans belong to the angel family. The other 17% belong to the 287 species in humans that belong to the matter species. One of the main jobs of the Protoi is to create space for life. They build new grid parts, they activate it, and let the initial energies flow inside. We know this as the Big Bang that creates the matter. In normal cases, this is a service for level 1 entities made for their evolutionary specifications, and the Protoi deliver many more things to support life and its growth and evolution. After building the space, the level 1 entity who requested the universe is responsible for it. Another main job of the Protoi is to produce all needed energies for all needs in creation, and to supply them to all entities that need any type of energy. In the original condition, there is absolutely no reason for any lack of energy. In all these processes of creating life and evolution, no God or similar is included. The creation we are inside was created to test a new type of evolution. It was the invention of darkness, which was originally invented to create more pressure on beings during growth to let them grow better and faster. This experiment had limited success but failed in main parts. The conception of this experiment has been based on the ideas of a former Protoi who we know under the name Eartha. When we Protoi saw that this experiment started to become a bad evolvement, the Protoi of prime creation sent a pair of former Protoi to this creation to finish the experiment. But instead of finishing the project, they continued it with modified conditions, and they finally failed to. In the about 3.1 billion years they were here, they became dark themselves. We know these two former Protoi as Orion and his wife Taurus. About 730,000 Earth experienced years ago, the Protoi in prime creation decided to send a bigger group of Protoi into this creation to finally finish the experiment. We were sent here to finish the experiment and to save and heal all beings in this creation. We followed this order even if the dark factions didn't want any healing and attacked us wherever they could. In the year known as 367 AC, the Darks crossed an untouchable border. There was a meeting in the Prime Creation, which was neutral ground between the LSA faction with Eartha as their leader and one of the Protoi entities who were part of the mission. Eartha didn't come alone as arranged, but with Sadhana, Lucifer and Ahriman entities. After they couldn't convince the Protoi to continue the experiment, they crashed an important Protoi entity in a final way in the Prime Creation and actually on neutral ground. This was the moment in which Buddha, meaning those beings who have been incarnated in Siddhartha Gautama, laid down his laws of non-violence, put on his armor, took a shield and sword, and started fighting. It was the moment in which the condition to save all beings in this creation was dropped, and all Protoi in Prime Creation and this mission voted that it is now more important to finish the mission, and if some darks will not stop their bullshit here, we will not try to save them anymore. Many good beings with good intentions and their tribes of all species in this creation started to cooperate with us, and we formed an alliance. We call this alliance Protoi Alliance.